Before we start this video today, I want to address something. Apparently, the algorithms on YouTube have changed once again. If you've noticed in your recommended video area, you're now not seeing videos like this being recommended. What you are seeing is mainstream media. You're getting recommendations for Fox News, ABC, CBS, NBC, RT, and channels and media of that sort. You are no longer going to get recommendations to small channels like this. For some reason, a small channel like this seems to be a threat. And the algorithm has changed. It's going to get much harder to find channels like the one you're watching right now. And so it is very important that you like this video, you subscribe to it, and you hit the bell notification. And even though you do all that, you may not get notified with the newest videos. You're going to have to physically check the channels that you follow because they are not notifying a lot of people of the newest videos. You're no longer going to see videos like this in your recommended slot there on YouTube. So again, make sure whatever video, whatever channels you watch, make sure that you are checking on a daily basis for those updated videos. Again, whether it's this channel or other channels, you're going to have to physically check. And it's so important now that we share these videos to our friends, our family members, to anybody in order to educate people and wake people up, because it is getting harder and harder to get these videos out, and you're not going to receive them in your recommendations. So again, make sure you physically check on a daily basis your favorite channels, because you're probably not going to be getting notified, because apparently small little channels like this are a threat to somebody. There was a poll taken this weekend, and it said that most Americans want this witch hunt to end. And this is from both sides, Democratic and Republican, both sides. A majority of people on both sides want this witch hunt to end, this collusion with Russia. They want it to be over with. And my question is, what is Congress doing for the people of America other than this witch hunt, which they cannot let go? We have 500,000 people living on the streets of America currently. We have vets on the streets of America. We have an invasion taking place right here in America. We have an opioid addiction taking place. We have a trade war now that is heating up with China. We have a global slowdown, a global economic slowdown occurring right now, yet nobody is doing anything about any of this. Congress continues to just want to attack this president and continue with this witch hunt. We have unfunded pensions. We have farmers in the Midwest in massive trouble. We have $22 trillion in debt. More than half of U.S. citizens are living paycheck to paycheck, yet they don't seem to care about any of this. They don't seem to care about things that are really affecting people here in America. And my question is, how long is this going to continue? How long do the taxpayers here in America continue to allow this to take place, continue to allow this to go on before enough is enough? What are we paying these people in Congress for? We have massive infrastructure that is crumbling. Our urban cities look like ghettos, yet they're more concerned about tearing this president down. Whether you like him, hate him, or you don't care, when is enough going to be enough? Because they're forgetting about the taxpayers. They're forgetting about the people of America. They're forgetting about what their job is. They would rather tear this president down, and if they have to tear the entire country down doing it, that's what they're going to do. How far? Please comment down below. How far does this go? Are people just going to continue to allow it to happen? Are they going to tear America completely down in order to get this president? What is going to happen? How do you guys see it? Please comment down below. It's just unbelievable that they basically have done absolutely nothing, continue to do nothing except attack this president while the entire country continues to just erode, decay, fall apart. People, are literally living paycheck to paycheck, and yet they don't care. Their main concern is attack this president, and they don't care how much damage they do to you or the United States of America as long as they continue to try and bring down this president. While Congress has forgotten about the people, and while Congress has forgotten about how to do their job, let's talk about what's really happening here in the United States of America. Let's talk about what's really happening to people here right now. People are running up bigger debts than ever, just like this country is running up bigger debts than ever. What are these people going to do when this economy turns south? And I believe it has already turned south. In a good economy, people aren't defaulting on credit cards and auto loans like they are now. People in good economies typically pay down their debt. They put money away for a rainy day. And in this so-called good economy, most people have no money saved up. They're acquiring more debt. They're falling behind. They're defaulting on debt. What is going to happen when the rainy days start hitting the United States of America? People aren't going to have anything to turn to. They're already maxed out or maxing out currently on their credit cards. There's going to be nothing left to turn to because most people are going to be tapped out and maxed out. And when we officially hit a recession here in the United States of America, we are going to see some serious, very serious trouble here because people, again, they're maxing out or they're already maxed out right now. We're seeing defaults now with credit cards at all-time highs for the last decade. We're going back to the Great Recession. These are the kind of numbers we're seeing right now while we're in this so-called boom. What happens when this economy really starts slowing down? And it's starting to right now. What are people going to do? They're maxed out, they're tapped out. What are they going to turn to? How are they going to pay their bills? How are they going to keep their cars, keep their houses? How are they going to pay for rent, food, etc.? When right now they're stretching it, and many people are maxed out at this point. So we have very, very serious trouble coming, and this is why I tell each and every one of you to start preparing, get your debts manageable, get them paid off, start putting an emergency fund aside. Whether that's $100 or $100,000, you need to have money and assets put aside for what is coming. So I pulled up some numbers today regarding the credit card default issue here in the United States of America. And this is another reason that every one of you need to be getting prepared. Why you need to have an emergency fund, why you need to be getting your debt in order, because America is heading into quite possibly the worst economic time it has ever had in its history. And I'm going to go over some of these numbers with you. Subprime credit card charge-offs remain at levels not seen since the Great Recession. Yet, we're in a booming economy. First quarter 2019, credit card charge-off rates at all but the largest banks remained above 7% for the sixth quarter in a row. During the peak of the recession, the charge-off rate at these banks was above 7% for just 4 quarters. We're now at 6 quarters, and we're in an economic boom. The charge-off rate for the largest 100 banks rose to 3.78%. This is the highest level since the first quarter 2013. For all commercial banks, the charge-off was 3.83%, the highest since the fourth quarter of 2012. Smaller banks hold much of the subprime credit card debt in order to compete with the larger banks. They are taking on greater risk and they're getting bogged down in losses. And this is going to be another problem for banks holding all this debt and allowing people to rack up this credit card debt. It's, people are using credit cards for necessities. They're using it to make car payments, to pay for food, pay for utilities, to pay for rent. And when people continue to default, and as we get more defaults, as people were defaulting on their homes back in '08, now we're going to see people defaulting on their credit cards. It's going to affect a lot of these smaller banks. Whether you're 18 or 80, I don't think there's anybody out there, including myself, who has ever seen America in this condition, whether it's politically, socially, economically. And when we talk about America economically, there are massive booby traps all over the place. China is indicating it'll never give in to U.S. demands to change its state-run economy. I believe that this China trade war is going to take a lot longer. It's going to last a lot longer than most people thought. I believe this is going to heat up. I think it's going to have serious effects on the China economy. It's going to have serious effects on the U.S. economy, and it's going to have serious effects across the globe. But let's talk about China. China is the largest U.S. Treasury holder in the world. They could drop or dump treasuries. They could just flood treasuries onto the market, and this would completely disrupt the global economy. And I think this is why we're seeing people, flooding over to bonds. The 10-year now is down to about 2.3%, somewhere in that territory, in that range, as of Friday. So there's a lot of concern, a lot of nervousness, and people running to bonds. This could really, if they started dumping U.S. Treasuries and just flooding the market, this could completely foil the financial markets around the world. This would definitely hurt China. It would really hurt America. It would hurt the entire globe. But would China do something like that? Would they sustain injuries to themselves just to impose pain upon America? Who knows? If it got that bad, we could see them dumping massive amounts of treasuries and U.S. bonds into the market, and everybody's going to feel the pain. But most of all, we would feel massive pain. So this thing is heating up. It's another reason that you must be prepared, because a black swan event can come out of anywhere. What if tomorrow morning you woke up and China just said, F it, and they just dumped all U.S. Treasuries and bonds onto the market? We are going to be in big trouble. Here's another problem, another warning sign: 38,000 auto job cuts across the globe. This is happening in China, UK, Germany, Canada, and the US. Daimler CEO Dieter Zetsche said sweeping cost reductions are ahead to prepare for what he is calling unprecedented industry disruption. Things are really heating up across the globe, and everybody, including you and I, are going to be affected by this. Right now, we are witnessing a significant downturn in the auto sector. Automakers are cutting shifts. They're closing factories across the world. Salary workers are being cut. It's a surefire sign that sales are slowing. They're not just slowing, they are completely slumping. The slowdown has come at a time when automakers have deployed significant capital into electric cars. So they've poured billions of dollars into research and development and production of electric cars, and now we're heading into a global slowdown. And so how do they recoup this money? They're cutting a lot of jobs. That's what they're doing. They're closing plants, and it's just the beginning. It's going to get much, much worse. Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Where's the good news? What's going to pull us out of this? I see us going very, very deep into a massive recession. This is really scary here, and this is really going to affect us. We have a crop catastrophe happening here in America. Severe flooding, hundreds of tornadoes hitting the Midwest, winds, hail, you name it. It's happening right now. And this is going to create a food shortage right here in America. The last 12 months have been the wettest in U.S. history. Another reason why you should be putting food and water away, because here is another black swan event that can come out of left field. Who was thinking about tornadoes, hailstorms, floods, and a crop devastation that we're now going to witness here in America. We're seeing massive, horrific conditions in the Midwest, and these farmers, they're going broke. They're going bankrupt, and my heart goes out to these people. Last year, 78% of all corn acreage had been planted by now. This year, they're sitting at 49%, so almost a 30% difference. The percentage of corn that has emerged from the ground is at 19% compared to 49% last year. So last year we had almost three times as much corn growing above ground than we do right now. Last year, 53% of all soybean acreage had been planted by now. This year, it's only 19%. Only 5% has emerged above the ground compared to 24% last year. Very, very scary times. Yet we have millions of people flooding into America that we're going to continue to give government subsidies to, and we're going to be responsible to feed these people when we're having a massive crop apocalypse taking place in the Midwest. And so we continue to bring people in, and they're going to have to eat. How does this all play out? So the country's going broke financially, $22 trillion in debt, over $200 trillion in debt if you include unfunded liabilities, Medicare, Medicaid. Over 70% of our pensions are unfunded. Now our Midwest farmers are in massive trouble, and we're going to see a food crisis take place this summer. Yet we're allowing more people to come in that you and I are going to be responsible to pay for and feed. How do you feed people when America is having a hard time feeding itself? While our politicians continue to tell us how dangerous this president is, how he must be stopped, how he must be impeached, why this witch hunt must continue, the dangers of this Russian collusion, while they're doing this and brainwashing people on mainstream media, you know, those recommended sites that you're going to be getting on YouTube now. While they're doing all this, Border Patrol seizes ultralight aircraft loaded with meth and fentanyl. So apparently the president is more dangerous, and this is more of a concern with Russian collusion than aircraft now flying over from Mexico into Arizona with a load of methamphetamine and fentanyl. It's amazing that their number one concern, their number one enemy is the president. Not cartels, not fentanyl, not methamphetamine. Absolutely amazing. Here's another one. Mexican cops seize 460 pounds of meth and 60 pounds of heroin in Tijuana that was getting ready to come over into America. This is on Breitbart also. It's really amazing who their enemies are. The real enemy is this. We have a drug epidemic. We got meth, we got fentanyl, we got heroin coming over and killing people here in the United States of America. But your politicians don't think that that's the real enemy. They think the real enemy is the president of the United States of America. He must be stopped, but not the drugs, not the meth, not the heroin, not the fentanyl, not the cartels. That's okay. This same Congress and this same mainstream media, you know, the people that tell you that white supremacists are running Washington, white supremacists are running everything in America, that America is a bad place because it's all white supremacists, that America was founded on white supremacists. Yet these are the same people that are allowing all this garbage to flood in to America and telling you that the number one concern are all these white supremacists. Well, Breitbart today, there was a Klan rally in Ohio, and you know how busy it was? You know how packed it was? Do you know how many people showed up to it? Nine people showed up to a Klan rally in the state of Ohio. So the big threat of all these white supremacists, 9 people showed up to a rally in Ohio. The real threat to America is not white supremacists. The real threat to America are these politicians, this media, and Hollywood. And America is waking up to this. Now, it's, again, shocking, isn't it, that this little channel is not going to show up on your recommendations, that channels like this aren't going to be showing up in your recommendations because apparently there's some sort of a threat. Because we're going to tell you that the #1 threat to America is not the Klan and white supremacists. 9 people showed up to a rally. The people who are making this message harder and harder to get out, people that don't want you to hear what I'm saying, people that don't want you to hear what other people are saying, these are the real enemies of America. Listen, have an incredible Memorial Day. God bless every one of you. Please make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I need you to physically check daily for new videos because they're not going to be notifying you. I get a lot of comments where people do not get notified, even though they hit the bell, they're not getting notified. And that's probably happening to a lot of channels out there. So make sure with whatever channels you like, if it's this one or a bunch of others, make sure you check daily to see if they're releasing new videos, and make sure you share them. We need to get the message out because they're making it harder and harder to get these messages out. So we need everybody's help. We all need to come together. We all need to work together, and we all need to be waking everybody we possibly can. We need to wake up our friends, our family, our churches, and do everything we can to help America out. Support this president. Make sure we're praying for this president. Make sure we're praying for America, and make sure we're praying to God every day that we are going to be victorious and that we're not going to let America fall. America is still the greatest country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. We cannot give up on America. So make sure you share this video. Continue to stay in the fight. Continue to wake up your friends and family and churches. And God bless every one of you. And God bless everybody who fought for this country and died for this country. God bless. Talk to you later.